Hello and welcome to our continuing coverage on the COVID pandemic, where we are trying to discover the new normal in education. We're trying to discover this through candid COVID classrooms. Today, I have a very special guest from a very distinguished part, but a lesser spoken part of this great country, Nagaland, one of the tribal states and a very valuable state in India. Joining me today is State Minister for Higher Education and Tribal Affairs of Nagaland, Mr. Temjan Inma, who's also the BJP President. Thank you, sir, for joining us. It's really a pleasure to have you with us in this very special broadcast. COVID, to most people, sir, has thrown open challenges, opportunities, as well as a moment for introspection. Where are you particularly placed in these three parameters? First, the challenge.
Very good morning, Chetanji, first of all. During this COVID-19, government of Nagaland, especially in the sector of education, has been able to optimize its limited resources, especially school education and also higher and technical education. With the limited resources, we have been able to use the Doordarshan Kendras and All India radios and also the virtual teaching classrooms to reach out to thousands of students stranded and in the respective villages where social distancing and lockdown is the immediate ingredient of the day today.
So in an environment like that, Mr. Along, do you think that Nagaland has more opportunities? Because naturally, the way the topography of your state is, your population is scattered. The topography the terrain is hilly. Unfortunately, the road connectivity is not very good. So it's all actually a setup for doing digital education. So you perhaps would be better positioned. But what is the state of telecom infrastructure there to be able to support that?
No, to be able to support such kind of digital learning, telecom infrastructure in Nagaland in most of the places are quite good now. The government of India and also the government of Nagaland has really emphasized on that. Now in most of the villages, geo networks are there, and the telecom infrastructure is actually ramping up in a much faster mode than before. So we are using optimum use of that.
And what about the training for the teachers as well as the students? Because we realize that particularly over these last 60 to 65 days, one of the challenges, of course, is technology itself. The other one is infrastructure. Then to get the students, all together focused on subjects. But I think the greater challenge is actually to teach the teachers. What do you think on that front?
No, I think it is going to be a gradual process, Chetanji. Now, as of now, the Department of School Education in its directorate have selected more than 30 to 40 teachers to teach online, recorded online, and through the digital environment from the directorates. As of now, all the teachers are not involved. Interviews have been called and many were selected, and out of that selected few, this online endeavor is going on. But in course of time, the Department of Higher and Technical Education, including the school education, will be endeavoring to update the teachers too, the professors too, in their course of action and in their works. Luckily for us, the COVID-19 has happened in a time when most of the semesters are getting over and the results of class 9 and 10 or 12 are going to be out now. The challenges are more for the new admissions to happen. And in the school education, the scholastic year has just started, February, March, like that. So I think the departments will be having enough time to modulate, as there are able officers who are leading the departments. And with their inputs, we will be able to tackle this pandemic issue and not lack in the field of education to deliver quality education to the students wherever they may be in this lockdown.
The Northeast is such a beautiful part of India, and we often obviously talk about it being somewhat lesser developed, but it's also lesser discovered. Perhaps this is an opportunity, for you to actually encourage people from outside Nagaland to be a part of the Nagaland education system. Particularly, when we're talking about edutechnology, digital technology, are you looking at that very closely? How to enhance and make education in Nagaland or through Nagaland schools far more viable for people outside Nagaland in the other states of this country?
Chetanji, I think what you have just pointed out is one of the very evident points where Nagaland and the, Purvattar, that is the northeastern parts of the Northeast, are still very undiscovered, and still the people in the rest of the country, our own brothers and sisters, are still much unaware. But today, if we look at states like Meghalaya, they have become a hub of education. And even Nagaland, with its pristine environment and with its climatic beauty of the, vibrant human resource, and also tech-savvy young people, I mean to say that, I think we can be a tool in the days to come to go use digital mediums of education system, not only for Nagaland, but also for the rest of the country and for many other viable places where education can be reached through the digital medium.
Yeah, in fact, one would look at states like Nagaland to bring out some kind of digital convergence and attract more people to study, even if it be, via the internet with the Nagaland educationists. Now, we often talk about the value of education, right? Why does a person get educated? Of course, sure enough that he wants to be more aware, wants to better understanding of life, but at the end of it all, if education does not lead to employment, it's the greatest, victimization. It's the greatest tragedy of human beings. In a situation like this, where India's unemployment at a 45-year high, and of course post-COVID is bound to get worse, employability itself is a very important part of our education system. Its infusion, not just in skilling post-education, but during education, is very critical from the early years. Do you believe that?
I do believe that, Chetanji. That is why in Nagaland, especially, looking at the huge challenge that is coming up, if you would notice now, thousands of students are coming back from the rest of the country back to our states. We have more than 18,000 registered students and workers who are working in this field of hospitality, in the field of aviation, especially we who are good in it. They are coming back to Nagaland. And the biggest challenge, Chetanji, is that, to be very truthful, Nagaland, through the statehood, especially from 1963 onwards, have been quite a volatile state, as you may know very well. And it has been an upteam challenge, for governments have come and gone, but employability has always been a huge problem. And Nagaland has been a state that is service-oriented, especially in the government sector. But now, many thousands of Naga young men and women are working all over the country and all over the world. And due to this pandemic, there is a different spectrum of a different challenge now. They are coming back to Nagaland. Most of them are coming back because we are facing a lot of trouble in the rest of the country in its own distinctive way. So in schools and colleges, it has become very important to introduce vocational studies, especially in higher education, with the initiative of the Ministry of MHRD. Vocational programs are being run very successfully in the Northeast. Especially in Nagaland, under Rashtriya Uchchastar Shiksha Abhiyan, vocational programs, I think, has been one of the most successful in Nagaland. And these vocational programs are programs that get into research mode of, example like mushroom cultivation, example like even piggeries, those programs and things that are viable in our area. To be very honest, Chetanji, again, the Department of Technical Education, where I am also the minister in charge, through the Fashion Technology Department inside the government polytechnic, we have been able to produce more than 80,000 face masks of good medical grade. And we have been able to, give it out. We never knew that the chemistry lab of the Kohima Science College Autonomous can be so good in manufacturing more than 15 to 16,000 liters of WHO grade hand sanitizers, even which I'm using now. So I think this has given a new opening. And the Naga people, under the able leadership of our Chief Minister, Shri Nephew Ryoji, and my Deputy Chief Minister, Shri Y. Paton, we are giving more importance to agri and allied sector now. We have stopped the imports of pigs and poultry from rest of the country, not because of anything, because of the swine flu that is going on. We are 16,300 something square kilometers of land that is fertile, completely organic. And we are trying to self-sustain ourselves now. And in due course of time, with the initiatives of the present government and in the days to come also, this has given a very introspective thought process to the whole government and to the process of governance, including to the villagers who are living. They are planting their own seeds now, which almost got forgotten. Putting their own vegetables, making the growth of rice again more better. And I think that is something very important. Employability, I believe that the people of our country, including the Naga young men and women, are very resource rich, especially in human resource, with the talents and with their hard work and with their skills. So we are going to emphasize on this issue. Now, at this juncture in time, every human resource in itself is the greatest industry that is needed to not only pull through Nagaland as a state, but also the rest of the country. So we, the Naga youth, men and women, are looking forward to be part of this great skill India, entrepreneur India, and provide not only for our country, but for the rest of the world also in the little way that we can.
It's very heartening to hear what you said, and it's typically outside the Northeast, people normally would condition their mind to thinking that it's just the English language, at which most people in the Northeast are rather proficient at, is what got them the jobs, as you mentioned, in hospitality and other sectors. But the fact that now you're looking beyond that and in such a constructive way is indeed heartening. Now, you mentioned that a lot of Naga people are coming back. We understand the migrant labor crisis, which has hit the country, particularly India, not so much the other countries in the world, at least to that extent. But the other challenge which throws up for you is that you have enough jobs to support them within Nagaland.
No. We do not have enough jobs to support them. Government sector is saturated. But now, one of the most important thing is the talents of the Naga young men and women who are educated. Maybe Nagaland can become a center of BPOs and LPOs and medical transcription places, because most of the students or the young professionals that are coming back are from those sectors. Hospitality industry is going to go down as we see due to COVID-19. But I think those talents can be used better, by giving online services also through digital platforms. And Chetanji, I assure you, in the next 1-2 months, especially our young men and women will come up with those things. And I will also make sure on my part to push through for those things to happen, where, this has given us a whole new idea and a whole new spectrum of working in a different way. Naga young men and women, I know Naga young people and women, I dare to believe in them. We are vibrant people. We are bloggers. You don't know, there are many Naga young men and women who have got Instagram followers of more than 5 lakh, 10 lakhs. Many of them. And it is a trend. You will be surprised to know that even the young boys and girls in the villages are using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. According to the population, I think our state is quite vibrant in that. And if we can pull in the resources and our indigenous heritage and our strengths can be processed digitally and showcasted, taught, and put forward, I think the whole world is ready to receive it digitally nowadays. And I think that is something which we are doing. The platform on which I'm speaking today is actually the second time I'm on a video conference on this platform, which we are trying to make it better. But this is the digital interactive smart boards on which I'm speaking with you, which has been introduced in the month of January before the pandemic in all the government colleges, in all the government polytechnics, which is the first of its kind in the Northeast that the government sector is doing that. Likewise, even the school education, we have a able honorable advisor, Shri Shukalu, and the principal secretary, Mr. Shahnawaz, is an IS officer. They are doing fantastically well, especially with the students that are stranded elsewhere and everywhere. They have gone digitally, they are online, they are in Doordarshan, they are on, All India Radio, and people are tuning into those things, which has never happened before in Nagaland too.
It's quite encouraging, Mr. Minister. Really, really, very encouraging. Particularly when you say that all these things have been done and well planned. I guess that for once, at least, I'm glad that you managed to do this all just before COVID, and now it's all coming to good use. So timing to that effect was quite opportune. Perhaps you can also take a leaf out of the books of countries like Philippines, Vietnam, who've all leveraged the English language. I still think that despite everything, that should be a strong leverage of the states of the Northeast. Leverage the language to look at BPO and outsourcing opportunities from across the world, not just this country. And I think those opportunities will come in abundance now, more often than not, in the post-COVID environment. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Minister. Very inspirational indeed. We believe that the only way to get out of the COVID crisis, which may continue for a long time, is 3 C's: be corrective, be collective, and be creative. And I'm very grateful to say that you've shown all 3 of them in equal measure. Thank you, Mr. Minister, for talking to us.
Thank you, Chetanji, also for giving me the opportunity to interact with you and to thank through your platform all the teachers, all the students, and all the people that are involved to still have a masterpiece education system, not only in Nagaland, but also throughout the country and throughout the world. Thank you very much, Chetanji.
Thank you, sir.